Greetings, traveler.
They'll never see it coming.
I haven't really done much of the tryhard good classes, so. Bomb Lobber felt very, very good. I might just pick it. I think Buccaneer is really good as well, but I think I will just pick the Bomb Lobber. I see how it is, game. This could be an SI agent. Although, 2 lobbers and a Crusader that early, it's not the worst thing in the world, honestly. I don't think I want the Kraken. I think the other 2 are a bit more reliable. I think I'm just gonna pick the SI agent. I'll make it work. Holy bomb lobbers. This has to be a new record. 4 picks offered, 3 lobbers. I'll probably just pick the Buck because we have the SI as well now. At least we don't have to feel bad about that first pick now, right? I might pick the Crazed Chemist here. You do have the Cannon for the Pirate, and Mekaru's not bad for the SI. But I'll pick the good 5s. They might actually stop Common Zone. Right. It's a cheap-ish fan, and we have 3 5s already. Okay. Wow. I'll still take it, honestly. Just good 5s. Ooh, man. That's really pushing it. And we don't have mechs yet. Take it for it. Interesting draft so far. We were offered a ton of good 5 drops. Which is good. That's what you want for Rogue. I think I will take up to 2 more 5 drops, but it was just so early, I think. I think I'll just take the generic 2-3 here. I don't like Perditions that much. Lab Recruiter or Moat Lurker. I think I might just pick the Moat, honestly. I don't like Lab Recruiter. That's a really cheap Outer Barber. Usually you can't pick Outer Barber. 2 Violet Illusionists, that's also nice. I think I'll pick Wolf Rider here. I like the Razor Fin too much. Ooh, okay, nice. Piggy's great, but this guy I think is just stupid. Shredder or Kraken. Actually not that high on 4 drops yet. Double Fan here over Shovel Fist, that's fine. Yeah, that's what I was looking for. A reason for the double fan. Wow, dude, some of these cards. We could have definitely built a more powerful deck, but we went with some reasonable picks. I'm not sure if they were correct. I feel a little bit awkward about this draft. Funny enough, I might not actually have enough 5s. Ah, it's so hard, man. Alright. It's right on time. Yeah, I don't know about Fan, man. It's just one of those cards. Should probably pick a whole lot less of it. Another rally boss down. Thank you, guys. If anyone doesn't know what it is, feel free to use exclamation mark or rally help. Check it out. Not keeping aside. No, we won't have the coin, so it's probably not a keep aside. Can't coin Dagger Barber and coin SI at the same time.
Reporting for duty.
Go for it.
Here we go.
Coin Dagger Barber, a classic.
Follow the rule.
Follow the rules.
Here we go.
Is it just Warrior and Hunter where you're skipping twos? I looked at 50 of your drafts. You seem to have a lot of them in Rogue. You looked at 50 of my drafts? Holy crap. Some commitment. It depends a little bit on the quality. So, even in Warrior and Hunter, I will pick 2-drops if they're of high quality. So, Piggies naturally increase the number of 2-drops you'll have. An Auto Barber, a Valiant, so it really depends on the quality. I don't want to stack a whole bunch of regular vanilla 2-drops. But I will take the good stuff. You had a long conversation on Arena HS, you were challenged. You can link it if you want to, Ugbog.
Let's get moving.
Ah, yes. A lot of leaderboard players are trashing decks with any curve weakness in the early game. Yeah, I don't know, man. I mean, let him be, right? Let him be. It's fine. I don't think we throw the safe in there. Oh, actually, I think we do because the magnetic next turn is pretty sweet into the... Yeah, I see it. I see the lines, boys. I see the lines.
Say the magic word.
You definitely need to be better, I would say. That is true. You can't just skip early game and then expect to get away with that no matter what.
I wonder.
So the first thing you check is like, please don't have lethal. It's like, yes, we don't have lethal. Sweet. Then you make the biggest girl the world has ever seen.
Your patronage is not welcome here.
In my sights.
Here we go.
Well played. Your win, friend. I concede.
Well played.
Valera versus Liadrin. My blade burns with holy fire.
Watch your back.
Link? It was in the chat. I'm not sure if you can scroll up.
Job's done.
You will pay for that, cur.
Happy Midsummer. My sincerest thanks.
You will pay for that, cur.
Here we go.
You will pay for that, cur.
You will pay for that, Kerr.
Here we go.
I'm just reading up on the thread. Sorry, guys. It's in the chat if you want to join me. People talking about me monkas.
Well
Monka.
met.
Reporting for duty.
You will pay for that, cur.
Reporting for duty.
You will pay for that curve. You gonna pay for that curve.
So many options.
Pay for the curve, man. Pay for the curve, man.
This only works. Here we go. Happy Midsummer. Happy fire.
It's not
Here
just
we
a
go.
city of pain. Calm down, I'm a doctor.
Schwein Bastian, thank you for the Prime sub. Welcome. Thank you for supporting. Alright, so I think for the remainder of the stream, you know, first of all, if the internet stays okay, because today there might be an interruption, and as long as my energy is good, I think I'm just gonna try to really talk through all my plays and try to really explain why I'm doing what I'm doing. That's gonna be a bit more exhausting, but I think that, you know, that's for me a better reason to stream and play than, you know, just play in order to play. Because if I'm doing the leaderboard, if I'm doing the chat drafts, I find that that's a bit less required because, you know, I'm just focusing on doing as well as I can. Because right now it's not a super big priority. I can definitely invest more energy in talking about, hey, we're doing this because of that. So, let's see. Just gonna try and think out loud. Alright, so our shield is gone. We were going to go for Valdir Dagger, and that is still a possibility. We could leave him with a 1-1 mech. That's always a little bit dangerous, because then he could use a War Gear and kill our Valdir Raider. That might not be good. Next turn we're gonna have 8 mana. 8 mana could be 5 and 3 or double 4. We have this Plaguebringer in our hand. How do we make good use of that? We could go for a little bit more of a off-meta, well, not off-meta, but a little bit of a weirder line where we go Dalaran Crusader Dagger and just remove the mech off the board. We make better use of our 5-4 than just jamming it into a 4-3. We remove the mech off the board, and if our opponent has Seal of Champions, he would still need to get rid of the shield on the other Dalaran for it to be really good. So I think the Valdir Raider is probably not so good, because then you would kill the 4-3, and you really open yourself up to a War Gear. now you also have double 4-drop available while you already have the dagger out, which is useful. You can still go for Fan Raider or Fan Crusader Dagger, although you'd probably go like Fan Piloted. And, you know, if he plays a giant minion, you could Plague Bringer, but that's likely not going to happen. Short.
You will pay for that, cur.
So now Plague Bringer could be a play. Plague Bringer to kill the 2/4, put the Shredder down, stab the shield. Why is a 5/4 bubble so much more to... mainly Seal of Champions, mainly something like Dark Iron Dwarf, Peter. I feel like I can get this Raider rolling and actually just win the game. But not if he kills it while I didn't have full board control yet. I'm not saying it's correct, right? But it's what I'm feeling right now. We also have double Fan in the hand, but I don't think we want to use that right now. I'm not too worried about the mech tack because I have the poison right now. But the 6/6 can improve. Yeah, but not if it's dead, right? Yes, I understand. I understand that the 6/6 gets better. But the goal is to not let our 6/6 die to begin with. This feels like consecration, yeah.
You will pay for that, cur.
Reporting for duty.
Okay, so here you could get the Raider going.
Pay for that, cur.
But now Shovel Fist is a bit of a issue, so I think I'm actually just going to go for the Fan and play the 3 drops. Bait the Shovel Fist, then get the Raider going. Right? The 3/1 Divine Shield is pretty good to go back into the Fist anyway. I think I will play the Illusionists. If I play the Servant... Wait, how much mana do I have? I might actually play the Servant. If he goes Shovel Fist into the 3/1 or the 2/3, 3/1 is going to be on 6. I can go Illusionist this, and that. Yeah, it's actually... We don't have to give up the Illusionist to the Fist. It's my experience that the emote boys, they love the Shovel Fist, so...
I've got a hit.
Excuse me.
You will pay for that, cur.
Reporting for duty.
So there's an option for him to still have the Fist, but this is... feels like a turn where we just go in, right? Yeah. And even if he has Shovel Fist, it will be a 3 health minion and we'll have a 3/1 to go back in.
This only works on the
I enjoy raiding.
Here we go. Here we go. Or die.
Hunter, Paladin, or Priest? Probably a Paladin, if you're trying to get as many wins as possible.
What a tragedy. Better write you will pay for that, cur.
So, the Fan of Knives is likely to be good. The only question is the damage, right? It's a little bit awkward right now. Because you don't really want to give up your 4/3, but it's so much cleaner. So we might put the 4/3 in here after stabbing here, and then just Fan. Alternatively, we could go with the Wolf Rider and sack more stuff, but I don't think that's better. So I think we just give up our Violet.
Look behind you. Join or die. Choose soon.
Reporting
Well
for duty.
Well played.
I
So you can see the patience with the Raider really paying off, where
You will pay for that.
we...
Valera versus Garrosh. Victory or death.
Garrosh. I don't think I drafted this deck the best, but... Or, this deck isn't the best it could have been. Maybe I should be even greedier. Now that I'm drafting alone, right? Full control over the wheel. Maybe just go in greedier. Have the faith that I'll be able to fix it.
What now?
So Piggy is unlikely to be the play here. It's either just Underbelly Fence or a dagger. I'm assuming it's gonna be Underbelly Fence. Coin War Axe will be awkward. Thank you, Amali. Buying packs? That's crazy. Can buy arena entries. So this is the part where I'd like to just Buccaneer, but it's pretty awkward on the board. You could fan and clear, but it feels like such an underwhelming fan. I think I'm going to pretend she doesn't have text, and then I'm like, if I had an injured Blade Master here, I would probably play it. So
This only works on the simple-minded.
I'll trade the 1/1 so that the 2 damage rat is more awkward. Ooh, that is most unfortunate for our opponent. This card is so silly, right? 4 mana, 3/3, battle cry, deal 4 damage. Oh man. Ever since this was released, I've been so afraid of just jamming a minion into the board when the rogue has anything small. It's so awkward. I think you just keep picking these things, by the way. Ah. That's much better. My opponents have been getting away with drafting Hecklebot. It's because I don't draft a Dig Day. So it's a smart adaptation here. So Buccaneer, Dagger, Piggy versus Lobber, right? Buccaneer, Dagger, Piggy is 4 damage as well. So I guess we just go for Lobber. It's pretty... It's harder to get this out of the hand than Buccaneer, Dagger, Piggy. Yeah, Plaguebringer shouldn't really be around every single meta, or it should be... If it won't get micro adjusted, it'll be a problem for a long time. The end is coming. Not quite as good for us, because we wanted to play a Crusader this turn, but it will do. We can go for that Buccaneer, Dagger, Piggy turn, still keep the board. We could also go for Fan of Knives.
Feed the fish,
Here we go.
Positioning here is a little wrong. The Super Collider now has a much better hit. Piggy should probably be here. But you don't want him to kill the Buccaneer. Let's hope the pig doesn't live so that the 1/1 gets extra board. Okay. Good time for the Valdir to come out. Get some pressure going. It's unlikely he can deal with the Valdir and the other minions, so then we keep some pressure for the Heroic Innkeeper. A lot of Hearthstone, when you're the attacker, is just make board states where you're like, okay, you probably can't deal with this and with that. So it's usually get a spread going with a big guy. And it's like, well, usually they can either deal with the spread or with a big guy. Oftentimes, neither of them. So that's good. Yeah, like this, he might not be able to deal with either of them, right? Yeah, he just plays minions. But if he had an execute, he probably only deals with this. If he has a Fool's Bane, I guess, but that kills him, right? 12, 15, that basically kills him. Alright, so we have an opportunity here to grow the Raider, but we have a 10-10. 10-10s are pretty good from what I hear. So I think we will just jam the 10-10 and use our 3-3 to kill the 5-3 and push 7 face. That seems okay.
Your patronage is not welcome here.
Probably 8 face. We're gonna want a dagger anyway. Yeah, Plaguebringer being Battlecry instead of combo. But then Plague Scientist, you know, you could just say Plague Scientist's better, right? Fan of Knives is likely to be good here. Looks like we will be able to push at least 10. Fan, tick, 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 tick. So I guess we start off with the fan. If we hit an SI, I guess he's dead. Not an SI. Let's see. He didn't execute the Heroic Innkeeper, so I'm gonna assume he doesn't have an execute, and I'm gonna push just more damage. I don't think growing the Valdir Raider is better than developing a Dalaran Crusader. But honestly, Dagger and Scarlet is not the worst either. And I guess it plays around Collider a little bit more. Honestly, I don't think it matters, really. I guess, yeah, no, I don't think it matters. Just in a really, really, really dominant position here. And that's how I like to play these slightly slower decks. This is not even as slow as I would like it to be. You guys have heard me say I like Scribe a lot. I would pick 3 more Scribes for this deck, no problem. Right? But the goal a lot of the time when you're drafting Rogue is getting those strong 5-drops. Which is why I said it could actually be that we don't have enough 5-drops yet. I don't think this is a premium deck. I think we got a lot of good cards offered, but the structure of the deck isn't quite as I would like it to be. But we're making do with what we got. The Heroic Innkeeper and the Valdir Raider aren't really your typical, you know, mid-late game cards for Rogue, but they're doing their work here. It's just going to get more annoying when we are facing higher quality decks and we don't just have the ability to jam a Scribe. We're probably going to play against some pretty good decks where we have to play a Raider and say, well, I hope you can't kill it, and then they kill it, and then it won't work. But until then, we'll just happily chug along with our good 5-drops and our improvised late game. High main is just more sturdy because, well, first of all, it has the beast tag. That's a little relevant. But it has 5 health instead of 4. That's a pretty big threshold. 4 damage. I mean, it's true for any number, right? 3 damage is easier than 4 damage. 4 damage is easier than 5 damage. But 4 to 5 is a pretty big jump. When you go from 4 damage to 5 damage, you usually go to bigger minions. There's not very many even 4-drops that deal 5 damage. So a lot of the time, the minion combat is going to involve either 2 minions or it's going to involve a higher cost minion. Whereas 4 damage, you can get that off a 3-drop, you can get that off an Ogre Brood. So the first part of the high main is so much more difficult to clear than the first part of the Scribe. And then it's easier usually to deal with 4 1/1s than 2 2/2s, given how Fan and Missile Launcher and Dread Infernal and stuff deal that AoE.
Hurry up! Portals online!
This could be a very quick game. I think I will just jam the Henge Clan in there, mainly because I don't really want to dagger next turn. I want to play the Scarlet Crusader. So this might encourage our opponents to ping on turn 2, which means he got 0 mech warper value, and then I don't mind daggering it too much. So now we give him the option. Mech warper value or ping. If he pings, we dagger. If he gets mech warper value, we can probably trade. And now we get to play our Crusader instead of having to dagger. It's a bit more likely we're gonna go serve and dagger, because 3 and 1 is 4. Missiles is pretty good here. Okay. Looks like we are gonna go with the Shredder. Eagle Dom, thank you for the 11 months. Welcome back. Almost a full year. Cheers. Shredder here, pretty obvious, not much else to do. I don't love our position. The mage had a fast start. Usually the rogue needs the fast start and then capitalizes on that. This could be a problem for us. It'd be great if we get like a Divine Shield minion here or so. Okay. I was gonna say Divine Shield minion for Plague if he trades, but he's gonna go face because he got the stealth. It's a lot of face damage there. I think he trades it for us, the way how it's going right now. Oh, he could Wargear though. If he Wargears that, it goes up to 9. 9 is a bit of a problem. I don't want... Well, I guess it's 7 damage I'm not taking. Yeah, decks right now that don't have good mid game, I really, really, really don't like them. Smork is pretty good for us because we have the save. Could also use the Plaguebringer, but safe's fine. It's also before the portal. Also sets up for a Fan of Knives trade if he doesn't trade ping. We're not in a good spot, but that's sort of normal if your opponent goes coin 2-3 into Spider Tank turn 2, gets a procced Technician, has specifically Arcane Missiles to deal with your Scarlet on 3.
Squire, attend me. Ready, sir.
It's a magic trick. Could be a very, very slow turn with Servant, Crusader, trade. Could go for Fan, trade, Dagger, Servant. That's not the worst. The problem with that is that we can't play Plaguebringer and Crusader next turn, so that's going to be awkward. So that probably means we want to play one of them this turn, which makes me lean towards the initial line of just taking the bad trade. Firelands Portal is unlikely to be played this turn. Dagger? I don't know if I want to take 4 damage here and not develop this. This is also pretty good for this, right? I don't think it's correct. So we're gonna go ahead and take the bad trade, put this out. I think that the dagger play is a little bit too chill. You're a little bit too relaxed in the situation. I don't think you get to be this relaxed. When you look at your hand, you look at your life total, you look at the board. I think this is more annoying for him to deal with. Because if you leave the 2-2 up, then you give him an easy trade. And he might even go like portal the 0-5 trade to 2-3 or something. That's an annoying Blizzard, but not that bad. This could be a sprint turn, because we just do not have things to do here. Buccaneer plus sprint. You could also fan in the hopes of finding a bomb lobber or so. That's very, very specific. But even the Dalaran Crusader would do. Poison the chest. Pog. I think we will actually sprint. Because we're just not going to find another turn like this. I don't like to sprint unless I don't have anything else to do. But I don't want to preemptively poison anything here. So then you're looking at, okay, maybe I can fan, but... Alright. We found a Swashbuckler. That's going to proc our Underbelly fence. So we might be okay. Let's see. Sprint in this case, giving us some more options. And some more initiative cards. We got 2 damage now. Got another 3 damage here. Knife Juggler with poison. That is true. That is true. That could be another possibility.
Mount up.
I'll take the trade. Is it too much of a meme to do that? I guess it's not. Okay.
Put this apple on your head. Time for an experiment. How much is this worth to you? Feed the fish like
Classic. Plaguebringer, Valdir. You can dagger them, so. And now he has the 2 damage rat or the rush, and it doesn't fucking matter. No. A classic there, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, I was thinking it was a bit too meme, but I think the odds were fine. The odds were good. Oh, that is one hell of a fan of knives. It's hard to look at this juggler. I think maybe it's hard-coded, right? Once you give it poison, it can't go minions anymore for balancing purposes.
Wanted, dead or alive.
That would make sense, right? Yeah. That's probably what's going on here. You'll see that now the juggles aren't gonna go phase. Got him, boys.
Here we go.
Say the magic word. Valira versus Anduin. The light shall bring victory.
Watch your back.
But it's the same juggler. Havoc Yash.
How much is this worth to you?
Not really that much to talk about right now. We could have gone for a dagger, but there's not much in our hand that makes us want to do that. Mr. Pig here. Looks pretty good. You don't own the right gym badge for this juggler. Old school memes. Old school memes. A bit awkward. If we use the pig this turn, it's going to be hard to combo the SI, but we could just play the pit fighter. If we just play the menace and we don't kill it, then Shadow Menace just instantly ends the game. So I think that pig and dagger will happen. It's just how do you trade. My instinct was to sack the 1-1. I think this has to go in, right? But then do you use face in the 1-1 or just the 2-1? You can push one extra face the other way. You leave yourself more vulnerable to AoE. This way Shadow Menace is going to be better for him, but you kind of want Shadow Menace out of the way anyway. I think I will actually just sack the 1-1 so that I can use my face. I usually like to do this more. And it's not terrible to check him for madness because you have this in your hand. It's a far better madness target.
Only works on the
Totem, Golem. Would we rather have our opponent... Would we rather let our opponent have a 4-3 or a 3-4? The 4-3 is a little easier to snipe with the SI. The 3-4 deals less damage to our pit fighter. The pit fighter is pretty good. Sorry, the Holy Nova can be used quite efficiently to kill the pit fighter. But that's really not that much of a problem. Yeah, I think I will actually kill the higher health target.
You're in trouble now.
He can trade Holy Nova if he wishes. Dark Iron Dwarf and Smite are a little bit worse now as well. I'm mainly looking at if he trades the 1-1 and I find an activator for SI, it's a lot smoother than when I leave the Totem Golem up. Okay, nothing mattered in that case. Alright, looks like we can go with the SI play now. With a little luck, our Murloc will live, and then we can go into Valdir Raider Dagger.
Put this apple on your head.
Ha, this guy's toast.
Sweet. So that was essentially a dwarf, but a 3-3 dwarf. That's pretty slow.
here we go.
This juggler has something to prove now. I like it. Trading the 3-3, keeping a 1-1's pretty good for Plaguebringer. What are you looking for? Pythagoras? I think of Pythagoras, or however his name is pronounced in English. We don't have to sprint yet. It's not a similar game. Because of the sprint in hand, I don't really want to dump the weapon into his face. If we didn't have the sprint, I think I would go with that. I wonder what your rank is in Constructed. I guess that depends on when. Most of the time I do not play Constructed, so then I won't have a rank. This feels like we could use a sprint. We can make it so that we clear without using the 3-1, the menace. Just have to take 3, that's fine. So it looks like we will sprint. And then we'll have 3 1-1s on the board.
So many options.
We hit Swashbuckler.
Here we go.
Not bad. I like to sprint when I have the board and the enemy skips a turn. Is it better to develop though? Ideally you don't really use sprint. Ideally you win the game without having to cast sprint. So sprint is more something you use when you don't really have better plays. Or if you're really suspecting an AoE and you do not want to develop more. Pew, 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 pew. Palm Lobber with the Buccaneers is likely to be good. We're gonna need a minimum of 1 Buccaneer and Dagger, so that's 3 mana already. Palm Lobber's another 5. So we can't get the Violet on board as well. May as well go for both Buccaneers then and get a bigger Dagger.
Feed the fish, life lover. Feed the fish, life lover.
He gained a ton of health off the Funnel Cakes guy there. But when I did play Constructed, we made it to top 10. So that's something. But it's so specific because it's a different meta, different cards, right? It's all, yeah. But normally I only play Arena. Alright, not the worst turn to really think about, because we can use either Plaguebringer or Shadow or Death to kill his guy. Shadow or Death is a little bit more restrictive than Plaguebringer in terms of what it can kill, but Plaguebringer is a little bit more restrictive in that you need the board. That being said, I think we're probably going to assume we're going to have the board. So I think we're just going to start jamming damage with the Chemist. So we'll go with the Death Chemistry Dagger and we're just going to go in. The only answer to healing is just hit harder, right?
Here we go.
Just hit him harder, forehead. Top 10 legends? Yes. No, top 10 ranks. I made it to the rank 10. Smiley face. Okay. That's a pretty good illusionist. I think we'll take that over Plaguebringer.
This only works on the simple mind. Here we go.
Yo ho ho, yo ho ho, yo ho ho.
That's the stuff.
That's the stuff. Fan of Knives is alright here. Might have to give up on the 4-3.
Here we go.
If I push 6 now, he goes to 11. I add a Crusader to the board. Get a 2 damage weapon. That's 7, 9, 13. So technically I do still threaten lethal. Did I say 14? Might have said 14. Doesn't matter though.
Must consider.
Yeah, Priest versus Rogue always feels so unfair. This guy did a lot this game, but Rogue just gets the board and If Priest isn't dictating the trades, it's so awkward. He healed so much. He had a Nova and a Tunnel Blaster. He had a Shovel Fist. He stole a Plague Bringer, stole a Chemist. Just didn't end up mattering. Yeah, rogues are just annoying, Dirk McGirt. Rogues are really annoying. Especially rogues that have good 5-drops and 4-drops. Because that would be the main way how you beat rogues, I think. You just run them out of stuff. And rogue decks with good 4-drops and 5-drops tend to not run out of stuff. So yeah, this game looked a little grim, but...
Valir versus Jaina.
You asked for it. Watch your back.
Sprint is performing well. Yeah, I think that the Sprint is sort of our... probably the most awkward replacement for the Scribes. It's making sure we don't run out of stuff, but it's requiring an entire turn for us to skip. Sprint is going to fall off a lot once we fight higher level opponents, because they will not give us just the turn where we can skip. But yeah, in the lower level matches, I think Sprint is quite useful, for sure. I don't like playing Buccaneer here. I'm just thinking whether I coin like Dagger Piggy or something. I don't think we do. I like going Buccaneer coin Dagger on turn 2, because it makes them ping on turn 3 if they want to kill it that way. Even here you might say, well, they don't have anything to hit, so is it really better? I do like it, especially when we have a 3-drop to follow up. I just really like making it a bit of an awkward turn for them. High level opponents on an A. This is Europe, I believe, deck. I think this is Europe. We'll go for the secret instead. We will accept the mirror entity, if it is a mirror entity. Could also be an effigy.
Here, this only works on the simple-minded.
So had he pinged, we would have preserved 1 extra weapon charge. But now we got rid of a card, so I guess it's kind of okay. Not that big of a deal. Piggy, trade, redagger would leave us with a 4-3, a 1-1, and a weapon charge. Yeti face or Yeti trade would leave us with a 4-5 and a 2-1. We won't be able to redagger for a little bit if we are going to curve out Crusader into Safeguard. So I actually don't hate going for the Piggy line and getting a fresh new dagger. Also a dagger with Illusionist, just continue abusing the effects. That's pretty nice.
Here we go.
Time for some PoE, loving the game. Enjoy, Johan. Enjoy, man. Super, yeah, I found the game very enjoyable. Solo self-found mode. We're messing around with that a little bit. It's been very fun as well. This could be Plaguebringer. Plaguebringer would leave us with a 3-3 and a 4-3. Dalaran Crusader would leave us technically with just the Crusader. I'm fine with it. Yep.
So many options.
It's floating a mana, but it's dealing 5 damage. That's basically a better Bomb Lobber that we're playing here. If we had a card in our hand right now that was Bomb Lobber, even Bomb Lobber we'd play, right? Bomb Lobber just use our face. Yeah. So just play it here. I've tried PoE, but I found it too overwhelming. Any tips to get into it? Don't try to understand everything from the start. The game at its core is pretty simple. You kill things, you get stronger. You kill stronger things, you get even stronger. Very, very, very simplistic, of course. But don't try to understand more than that at the start. And then just bit by bit, you understand what all the masters do. You start to learn the vendor recipes. That would be my advice. Does a poison juggle kill the minion if it hits? Yes, it does. We've tried that earlier. He missed 4 times, the fucker. Alright. This is where it gets a little tricky. We could go for safe and phase, and then he can portal trade as a 5-drop on top.
Choose soon.
I'm really not liking the other play. Let's see. We'll figure it out. I was a little bit too distracted there with a question in chat. That's my fault. Should have thought a bit more about the line. So, the main effect of clearing the scribe this turn is that you miss a ton of phase damage if you want to efficiently clear some stuff. One of my fans, please? No. Okay. What can we derive from this turn? What does he not have? I don't think we can make too many statements. I think Firelance Portal would be played. I think that's one card we can rule out. So Yeti is starting to look a little bit more playable right now. I would really, really like to snipe this Giggling Inventor because Conjure's Calling is looking really awkward. But I can't really kill it unless I go in with a Bomb Lobber, which could be worth it. Nah, it's probably not worth it. We're gonna go in with the Juggle Crusader. You could kill one Annoyatron first to increase the chances, and I don't think that's totally crazy.
Put this apple on your head.
Here we go.
Alright. It's fair. I don't really want to pre-hit. This really feels like Conjure's right. He knows that he's going in with the Giggle first here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah. He could already do it if he wants to. Alright. Only a Valdir Raider. Does not get rid of the bubble. Most interesting. That seems quite wrong, does it not? So we could use the SI to kill the 1-2. And then face in the 5-4 into a 6-6. Is there a way for me to achieve lethal here? I might actually try the Lobber. Like, it's not necessarily for lethal, but you have 2 pretty good targets. The other play with the SI, Yeti SI. Pushes for face. I'll go with my initial line, I think.
Here we go.
I don't know what I did there. That's not what I was supposed to do. God, I need to pay more attention to the game. Sorry, guys. I can't do the chatting. It was trade with my guy. I know my guy was trading, but it's such a habit to go face into the Annoyatron. So I missed out on something here, right? I guess I didn't really, right? It's actually the same, unless I'm really mistaken now. Because I'm always going to overkill something. I'm either going to overkill the shield or I'm going to overkill the Annoyatron. Yeah, it's actually the same, is it not? No.
Well played. You win.
Alright, that could have gone far worse for us. We did not have...
Valira versus Jaina.
You asked for it. Watch your back.
Here we go, Innkeeper. Yeah, I'm just thinking of the stuff that would have destroyed us, right? And I think he would have already used Flame Strike. But a Polymorph or a Flame Lance were not really that good yet. So I think Innkeeper allows him to use one of those 2 cards. And the spreads we have with the SI and the Yeti pushes more damage and develops a board state that's a bit harder to deal with. If we have a read that he does not have the Flame Strike. That's a bit more of a higher level concept, but if you keep track of cards that would be good for your opponent, it's better to keep playing cards that you know he can't deal with than to play an entirely new type of threat. And Innkeeper would be an entirely new type of threat, just a giant minion, an easy Flame Lance, easy Polymorph. Juggler's pretty meh. If our opponent develops a 2-3 and I miss the juggle, it's pretty awkward. The reason I'm considering Dagger is it's looking like I'm gonna have a 3, 4, 5 curve, so it's gonna take a long time before we can Dagger. If this were a 2-3, I would play it. But I don't want to play my Knife Juggler just to get hit with a Henge Clan Hawksteed, or a Spring Rocket, or an Argent Horse Rider, or whatever. And then I don't have a Dagger ready.
2 heroes enter, 1 hero leaves.
Okay.
This only works on the simple
We could kill it with Fan, but that would cost us 4 health and a Dagger Charge. If we kill it with the minion, we keep 2 Dagger Charges, we keep 30 health. If he now has a different way of killing it, we might still go in with the Fan afterwards. Okay. This is actually okay, right? Now we can put a Shredder across from it. We now have an option to go Buccaneer Dagger, but that should be much better next turn. It's hardly ever wrong, just jamming a Shredder on curve.
here we go.
I still don't really hate the bucket system, it's just the bucket system needs more work from Blizzard. Well, the problem is that they're... Oh, he had 2 piggies, by the way, for the juggler. The problem is that Blizzard feels like they're doing... Oh, that is a phenomenal draw. Blizzard feels like they're doing it right now because they're going with pick rates. They're not going with win rates. So for the arena lovers, right? The people that play arena all the time. For us, it's very apparent that certain cards are under-bucketed. But if you don't play super often... Oh, I think I'm going to moat this. If you don't play super often, it's not necessarily too intuitive. You look at Scribe and you're like, holy shit, how is this card next to these cards? Right? It's just like, it's a 6-drop. I heard that, you know, arena is more about early game and curving, so I'm not going to pick it. It's not entirely unlikely that happens. So, yeah. It's always tough to find a good balance between what is good for, you know, the casual player and what is good for the advanced player. Lurker the Crusader? Yeah, you don't have to cap at that. I think that's correct. It's dead to 2 mana right now anyways, so... It's not like if I had a Boulder Fist Ogre here, I'd probably jam the Boulder Fist, but I do not. Juggler Bomb Lobber face is probably fine. I find it hard to believe enough people are skipping Scribe for it to stay in the bucket. I don't think they would lie about that. I can't really see what they have to gain off that. It's possible. But their threshold is pretty high, right? You need to pick it 60% of the time when there are 3 options available.
Put this apple on your head. Special delivery!
Piggy has moved up a tiny bit, Smellyhead. We are one. Is it 70%, Hugbog? I thought it was 60%. Okay. That might change things. This is the last turn. He can't go ping Flame Strike. So it's a pretty good time to get the Lurker popped. So I guess if we're popping it anyway, we may as well see where that juggle is going. Probably just want to jam a Yeti if that is the case. He can't go ping and Finals Portal. Alright. Dagger Barber, it would seem.
Here we go.
Looks like we missed. Do you have a reference to where they said it was 70, Hugbog? Crossballed again. When at first you don't succeed. I think I will use Fan of Knives just to cycle here. Not too big of a fan of playing the other cards here.
Here we go.
He can't ping and Kraken or Shovel Fist, so Kraken or Shovel Fist are not considerations here. I think the biggest one is Flame Strike, so I don't think we add anything. If he goes Firelands Portal ping, we still have 7, 9, 10, so we'd need Taunt. Now Shovel Fist will be more of a problem.
Feed the fish, enjoy raiding.
Here we go.
We will link it later, maybe you remember wrong. I remember it being 60, but I wouldn't put money on it. How do these people order like this? I mean, I'm guessing you're not going to find anything you'd play instead, but...
I'll take that.
Here we go.
Seeing as 4 damage is enough, I think I'll play this safe instead of the Innkeeper. It's only a 6/6 right now.
Say the magic word.
With the safe spawning the 0/5, it's quite likely we can... Yeah, so there's a Shovel Fist. It's quite likely we can get a bigger minion. Aha. There we go.
Feed the fish.
Here we go.
I'll take that.
That Mo Lurker did quite some work.
Valir versus Raw. For Doomhammer.
Watch your back.
I'm not sure if we could go 10 Shapiro, but next season I might actually try hard for one leaderboard run. We'll see.
Feed the fish, landlubber.
Let's check the Reddit thread. Currently, our rule for promoting demotion is 60-20 pick rate. Okay. Yo ho ho. What is Maelstrom? Voltaic burst? Okay, not voltaic burst. Ah, a Yeti off the top. How nice. Smiley face. He's got 2 mana next turn. I don't think we pre-hit. I think he kills a 1-1 and we go back in with the Yeti very often.
A tango?
Is there no leaderboard this month? So a while back, Blizzard decided that we will have leaderboards every 2 months instead of every 1 month. There's quite some options available here. It sort of depends how greedy you want to be. You can take the trade with the Yeti and heal it up, put the menace down, face into the 2-2, push 1. That's quite strong. You have a 4-5, a 3-1, a 1-1. Alternatively, you could save the Ancestral Healing for a combo activation on the SI, or you could use it, but then why not trade with the Yeti to begin with? So I don't think you do this turn ever. So it's either one of them or none of them. Because you need the Ancestral to combo the SI, and if you're going to use SI, you may as well just heal. So I believe this happens. I believe this happens. And this happens. I don't think it's worth to hold it. We have Sprint in the hands. We should not be too worried about value right now. That felt pretty risky. I think I might just eat that, keep pushing. The other one would be to use Underbelly Fence and SI Agent to kill the 3-6. But I think we want to push damage, see if we can get there. I don't want to leave the 1-1 up. It's a bit early, but I like keeping Yeti at 5 health for Fountain. There is a world where we kill him pre-Fountain, but probably not happening. We'll see. I think I might just push this 10 damage face and put the SI into the 0-2 to make the Lightning Storm less devastating. I don't think killing this Yeti improves things enough for us.
This guy's toast.
How much is this worth?
Because you obviously will not trade with the Moat Lurker. And I don't think I want to pop the Menace because AoE is a problem. So I think dumping damage in the Yeti is not good. Neutron here to slow us down. That doesn't look like it's nearly enough. And it is not. Shaman dead before Fountain. Feels okay, man.
Here we go.
He's like, damn, he noticed. Don't assume they have multiple AoEs.
None can escape my fury.
Watch your back.
Some rogue versus rogue. This is probably where we're gonna start feeling the iffy late game, right? The Raider, the Lurker, the Sprint. Head crack. I haven't gotten used to that new art yet. Don't think we tempo pig versus rogue. if he 8-0 deck, well, it's a broke red deck. So by default it has a lot of power, I would say. I don't think we pre-hit because it's likely he will evolve it anyway. I don't think pig and kill it is the answer though. So
This only works on the simple-minded.
next turn we have double 2 mana cards, so just have to deal with it if he has the evolve.
What have we here? I am ready.
It's hot.
It's a bit unfortunate that it doesn't look like we'll be able to use this Hench Clan Hog to great effect.
I wonder.
It could just be a Wolf Rider to kill the 5/4. Let's look at the alternative plays that use all the mana. If we go for the Pig and the Hench Clan, what will we do? We could use Pig and face into the 2/3 and just trade with the Servant down. A 2/3 and a 1/1 versus these things is not the worst thing. If you go Wolf Rider and face into the 5/4 and trades, I guess it ends up slightly more beneficial for him. So we're probably better off making the trade after taking the damage here. So it is better to spend all the mana, but barely.
So many options.
Here we go. Look behind you.
It's a very, very small edge we create by doing this. Hey Stein.
Let's show our guests a good time.
Kind of nice would be pretty funny. Although we don't really have a good 2 mana card to go with it. Maurice is just the powerhouse. Just can't deal with Maurice, man. Crusader sort of forces the dagger out of him, or forces the Maurice trade.
Here we go.
Try to go a bit faster. We have this head crack we took from him with the burglar. That might matter. We'll see. The instinct here would be to play the Buccaneer and the SI agent, clearing the 1/1 and the 2/2, pushing 5 face first and hoping that the bomb doesn't land on your 5/4. You could go for a 50-50 on the Buccaneer. We could also make it 66% Buccaneer and SI and not your 5/4. I think we are probably fine with the 66%er rather than the 50-50 that it's really good.
Feed the fish, lad.
Here we go.
This guy's toast.
That is about as good as that could have gone. Wolf Rider and Headcrack in the hand do give us some options. Ooh, wow, we're gonna connect for 5 again. Our chances just went up by a ton. This always goes face. Depending on where the dagger goes, that will make it so that if we don't kill the 1/1, we'll play the Pit Fighter. If we kill the 1/1, we'll play the Crusader. I think because he can double trade into the Crusader, it's probably still worth killing the 1/1 here.
Here we go.
We're so close to killing him, but I don't think we're close enough to just completely disregard the board. I think we need to play for boards for 1 more turn and then just go aggressive. Because if you go Pit Fighter face, he just double trades. He can always use the Maurice to trade.
Think.
I'm trying, chat. I'm trying. It will happen. Let me get the thing up again. Sabotage. Quite nasty.
Autograph? I suppose.
This feels like we have to go Pit Fighter, Wolf Rider. This is the last turn before Shovel Fists can access this. But it's not too pretty.
You're in trouble now.
You could have also gone for Head Crack. But then you're essentially using 2 damage, or you're going in for 2 damage, and the chance that you connect for 5 is a lot lower all of a sudden. This is a problem. No pea soup, it's just the lines outside. Alright, boys. Let's, you know, bygones be bygones, right? Clean slate, you got this. Just kill the moat lurker so we can get on with our day, right? Positioning, we should put the Plague Bringer in the middle in case we miraculously don't miss the juggle.
Put this apple on your head.
Dun 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 dun.
You're in trouble now.
That is one hell of a 50-50 right there. Because now the fist is not enough. The Kraken is not enough.
You smell like a leopard.
That is maybe enough. No, it's not enough. He had quite the explosive turn after his miscreants with the evolve and the...
Valir versus Medivh. Let the game begin.
Watch your back.
I don't think there's a room for Servant. Got some options now. Let's see. Alright, so I'm aware that we're lagging, guys. There's not much I can do about it, I'm sorry. I think we have too many options for that.
Choose suit.
But this is why Rogue is quite difficult. It's strong, but there's a lot of options. I think I might go for the Buccaneer Coin Dagger play. Because then you have Barber, and you turn your weapon into 3 damage. Even if he pings, you'll still have a strong board.
Many options.
If we had 100% information that he would ping, then Coin Dagger might have been slightly better. But it's okay.
Choose suit.
Feed the fish, lover.
I don't imagine it will be Raven. It would have to be a 3 health 2 drop, a 3 drop. So he might have Raven in the hand, and he's like, that's just silly, I should ping here. I might actually Wolf Rider him in the face, so I can go double 2 drop next turn. He did not have a 2 drop, so technically pinging the Wolf Rider is not great for him. He might have drawn a 2 drop, but it would have to be one of these cards. Sweet. So we exchanged our turn 3 for his turn 4, and we got 3 phase damage out of it as well. I think there's a Raven on the left side of his hand, judging from his hesitation on turn 3. Wow. That was not the play, my dear mage. That was not the play. He should have played that on turn 3, 100%. Ooh. Well, that's good for us. That's good for us. So we're very likely to use Bomb Lubber here. The question now is, are we going to use our face because we have Valdir Raider in our hand? I don't think we use it yet, because even on the Valdir Raider turn, we can still hit and then redagger. So turn 6, we can use one of our charges, and then we'll have a 3-1 weapon. And then turn 7, we can use the second one. So we're not under pressure to use it yet. And that is if we are going to Raider on 7. That is not guaranteed yet. Although it's pretty good, it's out of portal range. It's out of flame strike range. Yes, Gusho. These are to block out blue light. Alright, I'm gonna focus on the game, guys. I don't actually want to play safe because Portal is so good for him then. I would rather get Flame Striked than Portaled. I think I will be using SI this turn. So I think the ordering here is face with the pig, play another pig, 3-3 in the 2-2, go from there. And then we can use SI trades, push 3. It's probably worth it. It's 1 extra face and 4 less face for us.
This guy's toast.
This is far better against Portal than just letting him take your save. But the 4-4 is so much better, Moloch. Right? Well, I guess it's not that much better. If I have a backstab in my hand, it's worse. And it's pretty fair to assume that at 9-0 I could have a backstab. So I guess the Ogre is a fair consideration for backstab. Looks like we'll be playing Valdir Raider. It's a bit of a pricey kill if it is Mirror Entity, but it makes the most sense out of our 3 minions we have.
I enjoy raiding.
Sure.
Hey, lights out.
So, spell related or effigy. So this Fan of Knives cannot be relied upon yet. Is a pre-hit into the 5-6 a smart idea or not? Probably not. It's 5 damage and it's not reliable. If you pre-hit with the 3-2 and he then goes Shovel Fist into the 4-5, 5-3 into your 0-5, Buccaneer Dagger Fan could kill it. I think the main part here is to avoid Conjurer's Calling on this thing. I think I will actually pre-hit with my face. This is mainly for Shovel Fist. If he Shovel Fists the 4-5, it gets weird. This works too. Now I have Buccaneer to kill the 5-2 without having to rely upon Fan. That's a nice draw as well. Is a Secret Vape? No, it's Effigy, Counterspell, or Spellbender. So Effigy will be tested this turn. The health is probably too important. 5 health should trump this, I think.
This only works. Here we go.
None of your business.
I
Now Pyro doesn't counter kill us, right? So now Kraken and Shovel Fist are not enough. No, he can Shovel Fist to 10-9. Shovel Fist is enough. You definitely want Fan countered over Sprint. Ideally, I never have to play Fan if I know it's Counterspell. Ideally, I win the game with him having the Counterspell up. So I don't want to test just to test, because you lose 3 mana. Look at it this way. He has already invested 3 mana in the secret. If I never proc it, that's 3 mana that didn't really do much on the board. Yes, it did prevent me from playing Fan. That is true. But pure tempo, it didn't do that much. Which is fine, because we can just redagger.
Here we go.
Should go in here to prevent more healing.
Look behind you.
We're gonna have a 4-1 and a Divine Shield. It's gonna be pretty annoying to deal with. So she healed for 7. That's pretty sweet, right? That's like the heal bot, but she's not understated. I can catch up with the chat after this game. I saw a question earlier, but I'd actually want to just keep thinking in terms of the game right now. I don't want to switch out of that. I think we can rule out a Shovel Fist. That turn, it was a pretty clean Shovel Fist. Kraken, we can't rule out yet. Oof.
Tazdingo! Yes. Ready, sir.
Should probably give that a go. The poison right now does not matter.
For Dalaran! Put this apple on your head.
Here we go.
This is where we start to feel the lack of scribes, or just in general good late game to push with. We haven't been able to reinforce our board with like scribe, kill him, right? It's the good 5-drops that are keeping us in it.
Interesting.
And I guess, yeah, the Kraken. You see, right? I was telling you guys, no Fist, but maybe Kraken. Because you can tell from how he's been playing the entire time. So first of all, what could I draw here to play this particular turn that would be nice? I feel like we actually draw. I think we have him on the defense, right? If I can find a good 3-drop here and just jam face, he should be the one trading. The problem could be Conjure's Calling. Have we been in a spot where Conjure's has been really good for him? We damaged the Stegotron. Oh, we damaged the damaged Stegotron, so we couldn't do it there. He played a heal bot. He could have done it on the heal bot, but he played Rusty Recycler as well. I'm actually gonna kill it, yeah. I'm not entirely convinced there's no calling. If I was entirely convinced there's no calling, yeah. He had Khadgar? No, Khadgar was random. It was generated by unexpected results. Also, I don't think having a Khadgar is like a hard read. Oh, he's got Conjures, because then he still needs to have it in his hand. I can't tell you if he would have conjured the heal bot. The Rusty Recycler was pretty safe there. I think I would have tried. I think I would have tried for Conjures if I were him. Okay. So now he's got a Mage Minion in his hand, right? Or was that the Water Ellie? I think it's a random Mage Minion right now in his hand. Yeah. None of these were generated. It's okay, but I think we went with the line that doesn't sprint. So we just either we sprint now and really hope for a 3-drop, or we go with the Yeti guaranteed stats. The chance to not hit a playable card is pretty low though. And we can get reach out of it. Yeah, we should probably sprint now. Yeah, we got probably the better one, which is the Crusader.
For the crusade!
Suffering awaits.
Here we go.
Yeti Dagger is pretty annoying for him though, because then he needs to ping both the 3/4 and the shield. But if he has Caligos, he can't really ping anyway. If he has Ronan or any of the other big boys like Tony, he can still ping. Got lucky? It's pretty likely for you to hit either Illusionist or Crusader with 4 cards though, right? Taking out the 1/1 has its advantages here. Redaggering doesn't seem to be that important. Moat Lurker seems pretty bad. That doesn't really help yet, does it? No. So how does he kill everything after we stab the 1/1? The kill on the Yeti is expensive on this board. That's good. It's going to require 2 hits. And then the Menace is just a nightmare with the Chemist at the ready. So hopefully we're good.
Here we go.
Next card, Dig Day. We win the game if that's the case. Because he cannot kill all the 1/1s with Dig Day, and then we will Chemist the 1/1 for lethal.
Valera versus Uther. I will fight with honor.
Watch your back.
Coin Servant in the Dagger is totally fine. I don't think we need to keep Pit Fighter. I think we can look for a good 4. Could you please enable the Hearthstone? Yeah, it doesn't work for me, Pythagoras. It's really weird. I've tried over and over and over. So it worked for me for a little bit, and then it stopped working. And then I switched to Innkeeper, and then Innkeeper stopped. So I've done everything they told me, right? They told like, oh, just uninstall it, do this, do that. And every time it just doesn't work. So it's really annoying for me. Was killing the Kraken the right play? I think we're probably in a favorable enough position to not auto-lose the Conjures.
Follow the rules.
So there's a number of things we could do here. I'm thinking that the Piggy makes the most sense. Because the Illusionist loses to True Silver a lot harder.
Here we go.
Nothing technical is ever easy, cat and dog. It's always like, why doesn't it work? So if you pre-hit it, next turn you could Illusionist Redagger, kill it off, but ugh. That's 15 damage if he smarks, which he should. Well, no, it's 10 damage, but still. That's still a Pyroblast. It's a pretty bad consecration, so I don't imagine he would use it. It's good for him. He didn't go face though, that's something. Seems like a weird play with the Fortune. I guess he wants to protect this, that makes sense. Yeah.
It's not just the city of mages.
I don't love our position at all here. We need a little bit more flex, right? SI, Barber, Buccaneer, something to increase some damage.
Let me think.
What? Holy trading. I'm a fan. I don't know about you guys, but I'm a fan. Man, we should have been on like in the like 10, like 14 health or something if we played this properly. Maybe even lower. It might work out for him. The Redagger is pretty powerful here. The problem with coining here is that he gets an insane Never Surrender. I'm going to assume a 10-0 Paladin hasn't drafted Never Surrender, but you can't really be sure. So this is where it gets nasty. We either don't Redagger, or we risk losing to Never Surrender. I don't think I want to risk it. I don't know what I'm doing, by the way. This is so dumb. I gotta close the chat. I'm so sorry, guys. We might still get there, but thinking about too many other things. Alright. You have to just forget about that. If you ever make such a potato play, the worst thing you can do is think about, oh, we could have had this, we could have had that. Just gotta move on and pretend it didn't happen.
You'll never see me coming.
Yeah, going face here is a little... It's weird. It's because I have this, right? So it makes sense, but... Oh, he gets so punished, the poor guy. The one time he goes face, it doesn't work. I'm just baiting him into misplaying, guys.
Look behind you.
Let's see if we get there. We probably shouldn't based on our misplay, but can always get away with it. Face. Yeah, this is where the second Violet punishes super hard.
This only works on the simple-minded.
Say the magic
Here
word.
we go.
Let's negotiate. You can see. Reporting for duty.
That could be a problem.
Acquisition.
It was so fitting if he gets burn and kills me because of it. Okay. An extra card, right? That's still useful, but nowhere near as bad as a random spell could be. Keeping the 4-3 alive seems like a really good idea.
I enjoy raiding.
Here we go.
I need more.
Look behind.
Maybe the 4 face was better to threaten lethal. I gotta slow it down a bit. The chance we die here out of hand from 5 is pretty low, but it's a possibility. I don't think you sprint here. I think the Moat Lurker is better. So we got 15 right now. The Redagger will put us to 17, and then the Juggle will be 18. So 1 off, yeah. Yeah, I didn't play this game very well at all, besides from the obvious potato play. I should have pushed damage here to threaten lethal. I was on autopilot just defending. Leaving the 1-1 up can be awkward, but not in this case.
Too soon.
Put this apple on your head.
Here we go.
Oh well. If he has us, he has us, and then we deserve the loss, right? We made a pretty big mistake. Cost us 8 health. If he doesn't have us, that's cool. I'll take it. Gets the Kraken, but it's not enough.
Well played.
Well played.
He's pretty generous with that well played.
Reporting for duty. High tide.
I don't know. Not the same guy, I believe. Shredder, yes or no? You have a Yeti, and you have a Yeti. Ah, there's the Yeti. Probably won't see play unless we run out of cards. At least we have a good matchup time. Coin dude, Skaterbot. He's just a Skaterbot at the hands. I don't think my Crusader shield is worth the dagger charge here. Or 2 dagger charges, rather. I won't be redaggering for a little bit. I'm going to play a 4-drop into a 5-drop. If I hit here, that means I'm committed to hit next turn if he goes face, but he'll probably break the shield anyway. And against the Paladin, the dagger is always useful. Shredder or Yeti? Or Plaguebringer? Probably not Plaguebringer. Normally I would play Yeti, but our opponent has the option to coin a ward here, which would be very good against our Yeti. And only just good against Shredder. So we'll go ahead and play the Shredder. Now I will pre-hit. This seems like it will be worth it. Alright. Ideally we get to just play Crusader. If he plays the War Gear, it will go up to 9 health, and we have 8 damage on board, so... Especially if he goes face, we'll have to use the Plaguebringer, which I will not complain about. Trade, it's fine. I do not feel the need to use the Plaguebringer here. I think just putting another Divine Shield on board, playing our own Dalaran and breaking his bubble will be good. Next turn we can play the Yeti and Dagger or the Plaguebringer and Dagger. Probably Yeti and Dagger. After he free kills the Shredder.
Here we go.
We keep being annoying because Magnetic isn't so good if your opponent just has a fat Divine Shield on board. So yeah, you can War Gear it, but there's still a 5/4 that's just gonna go in for free. And then if he goes face, there's a super punish with the Plaguebringer. So I think that one's copyrighted. So if I want to use the run for YouTube Misa, I can't. We play it from time to time though, because I do enjoy the version myself. It's quite fun. I don't think this works on Divine Shields, right? No. Coin, Murgle.
Reporting for duty.
It's a pretty good one. Looks like we'll just go with Yeti Dagger and give him a card. Giving him a card is probably better than giving him another Murloc roll, because he can just high roll it.
So many options.
Pretty good roll still for him. Next turn we have Violet plus Plaguebringer potentially. This is the first turn where buffs are going to be pretty awkward. We won't have a Divine Shield on board. So a buff on the 2/5 like a Seal of Champions will be weird. If that is the case though, we might use the poison on the 1/4.
Here we go.
So that is the expectation on this turn. He could also just Scribe, and then the 2/5 won't do anything. That's, I guess, my two bets. Scribe or Seal of Champions. Scribe will, funny enough, probably be more annoying than Seal of Champions. Because that's what Scribes do. You could Plague the 1/4 into the 2-attack guy. Yeah, but then we can't kill the Murloc Knight, so... You could just... Oh, you mean face that, then Plague, that way. Okay. I don't think that's crazy. I don't think it's better than Dagger, but I don't think it's crazy at all. He didn't play that much stuff yet. Yeah, it's mainly because we're a rogue. We're just daggering his Divine Shield and stuff. The Anoyo module is pretty good.
Reporting for duty.
So Dr. Stein is also a fan of the other play. Understandable. Either way, we're past it. Consecration will be awkward if we go with the good play here, but we'll keep a 4/1, so it's not too bad.
This only works on the simple mind. Here we go.
Armor Smith and Violet Illusionist. That's really fun. What do you mean better than Dagger? Well, for one, you are investing the Plaguebringer. It's not Consecration, at least. We could have a little bit of BM here, if you guys fancy that. Are you the BMing type of chat, I guess, or should we just do it in the right order?
To arms, men!
Look behind you. Here we go.
That was a mistake.
This only works on the simple-minded. Happy Midsummer. Here we go.
Alright. We got him, boys.
This might hurt.
That's a pretty big deal here. I'm not sure what's correct for him most of the time. Well, in this case, that's ended up pretty bad. He was a good sport, right? He was a good sport there. I'll give it to him. Good sport.
Time for an experiment.
That was cool of him, right? You could dagger and chemist it. Yeah, but I'd rather just get the board here. Looks like sprint is going to be playable next turn. Or is it? That is one hell of a moat lurker. Oh, that is dirty, man. That is dirty, dirty, dirty. Very, very dirty.
Feed the fish,
The Geddon would have been really, really good if we didn't have that one minion that survived. Potentially just game winning. But that's what we said, right? We're gonna at least have a 4-1 if he consecrations.
The victory is yours.
What a nice sport. Gets hit with the VM. Replies with one emote. And then says well played. Cool guy. Cool guy. Very cool. Hey. Oh, and the juggler did step up really big in one game.